teenager is not an easy challenge. Stacy Woolman, the CEO of the CareNet Pregnancy Resource Center in Rapid City, can attest to that. It's been so long since I've been a teenager, Stacy, that I go by what you say. Not by what I remember.
The funny thing is talking about aging is for me, my almost teenage daughter says to me, back when you were young with Jesus, things like that. You played with dirt, things like that. It really humbles you on age. But certainly teenagers are interesting to work with, and we have an amazing testimony of working with our advocates. The Pregnancy Center, we have those that work in the front lines day after day after day, and then we have those in the community and those in the extended community that we work with and train and have them be advocates on the front lines in the community. And we just had a real incredible testimony of someone that we've worked with, actually someone who's a life runner who knows someone who was dealing with a teenager who reported that her mother was forcing her to have, her parents were forcing her to have an abortion, and she was 16.
Now, and that is not even legal.
Correct.
I mean, but
right.
It still happens in
well,
America,
and
doesn't
there's
it?
confusion, and even if you call Department of Social Services, there's confusion even in our service agencies on, can a parent force their child? They're the parent, it's a minor. No one can force a child. And if the information, and what we did is we empowered this advocate to empower this friend to get this gal information about the Justice Foundation, which is down in Texas, and they have a whole resource of information, and including a letter to the parent that is trying to force the child, saying that there could be major legal ramifications if they went through with it, and a letter to give to the abortion doctor, and certainly how to equip that girl, that everyone along the line, as she's being forced, and thinks she has no other choice, to say, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, record it on her phone, do whatever she did. Fortunately, in this case, it was just recently reported back to us, and again, this is not a client. We've never seen this
But it's someone
young gal.
that you had an indirect but very powerful influence in this case.
Correct, and she was able to give the information to her parents, and they backed off, and now there's a child saved, and a young child saved, a teenager, and who's excited about being a mother. Is it timing off? It has happened, and this baby is important. This young mom is important, and she still has a lot of life to live, and the baby and her will do well.
We hear so many testimonies, happy testimonies, about young women, women of all ages really, who have chosen life under very difficult situations.
Right.
Sometimes a husband will be trying to coerce or force a wife to have an abortion. I've sat at this desk and heard stories that would make you weep about a woman whose husband even had a gun to her head.
Yes.
In trying to coerce and force her into an abortion situation.
Right.
Some of the horrible things that go on behind the scenes that we don't hear about all the
Right.
time. This is a very happy ending to a very difficult story.
Very exciting, and again, it just shows the value of having advocates in the community and continuing the outreach and some of the effect that we have with our donors and supporters in getting them information, getting them equipped on how they can make a difference in
And
their...
I know you well enough, Stacy, to know that you are a strong proponent of parental rights.
Correct.
We aren't suggesting that that parents don't have rights.
Correct.
But the right to life trumps many other things.
Exactly.
I mean, fundamentally, life is the most important right.
Exactly.
So if you know someone, or you know someone who knows someone,
Right.
In a situation where there's pressure to terminate the life of an unborn child, many times these young women are just looking for some kind of help, some
Yep.
kind of encouragement.
Yeah, and the statistics continue to show us that if all the women that have had abortions, they felt like if they'd have one person that said, you can do this, they would have chose life.
You could be that one person. You know, in a time when we hear the Planned Parenthoods of this world saying that it's a right to choice, it's all about pro-choice. Most women that have had abortions will testify they chose that because they felt they had no other choice.
Right.
You can be someone who can help them find other choices. And if you need some kind of assistance or resources, Stacy Woolman would be able to provide those for you. Her name and contact information will be on the screen, and you can pass it on no matter where you are in the country or on the planet.
Right.
Stacy Woolman is one resource you can depend on.